Good evening. We begin tonight with an important story, details of which may sound very familiar to a lot of Americans given our history over the past few years in places like Iraq. Tonight, Pentagon sources are telling NBC News Syria is preparing chemical weapons for their possible use against the Syrian people in the form of aerial bombs. It's believed this specific intelligence is the reason why President Obama took a hard line against Syria just a few days ago, warning them there would be consequences if these weapons were used. Let's begin here tonight with the very latest on what we know, starting with our Pentagon correspondent, Jim Miklaszewski. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. U.S. officials tell us that the Syrian military is poised tonight to use chemical weapons against its own people. And all it would take is the final order from Syrian President Assad. As the fighting grows more intense and Syrian rebels close in on Damascus, the Syrian regime is turned increasingly desperate. U.S. officials tell NBC News the Syrian military has now loaded the precursor chemicals for sarin nerve gas into aerial bombs that could be dropped from dozens of Syrian fighter bombers. This week, U.S. intelligence detected a flurry of activity at chemical weapons sites, like this one, the Furcluse Weapons Depot near Homs. Today, while U.S. officials confirm the precursor chemicals are loaded, they must still be mixed together to create the deadly sarin gas. The alarming development shook the world. President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton issued strong warnings to Syria's President Assad that there would be serious consequences if he used chemical weapons.
It's the point of no return. They're going to lose any sort of backing that they had from the Chinese and Russians in terms of blocking the UN vote. And it's a suicide move.
The killing force of sarin nerve gas is devastating. Iraq's Saddam Hussein killed 5,000 Kurds with a sarin gas attack on Halabja in 1988. U.S. officials stressed tonight that as of now, these sarin weapons remain in the depots, have not been loaded onto any airplanes, and that President Assad has not given the order to use them. But officials here concede that if he does, there's very little the outside world can do to stop it. Brian.
Well, there you have it, Jim Miklaszewski starting us off from the Pentagon tonight. Jim, thanks.